Yeah. It's that one talk. You know? Make it up. Hey. Didn't have a pot to piss in, now my pot is pissing. From a bare wrist to the carrots, like a plot from Disney. I mean, come on, man, you got to give me credit. I bet if you're listening, I definitely got your interest. This ain't no hobby, no lobby, won't find this flow on Pinterest. I mean, my flow is relentless, like I done overlent it. I mean, my records keep spinning like I done overspent them. My content subject on budget, so I don't overspend it. Stuck just in one dimension, I'm just the one to mention. Got the bars of a star playing my position. It ain't a game, but a nigga winning. 2 cents for the rent, I'm trying to put my 10 in. Graduate, no debate, bet I'm in attendance. Summa cum laude, P boom by yay. Jury of my peers, most fear some hate. Jury of my peers, most times seem fake. Mama said you been shining, you just got some diamonds. Without hate, what's love, so just never mind it. Been at this shit a long time like a miner. Searching for the gold on my knees like a 49er.
All right, what's good, people? As I always start out, peace world. Thanks for anybody tuning in to this live stream with the special guest. Just wanted to support this brother as he makes his way out west for a big fight next week. You can catch it on the ESPN platforms, and I'm gonna go ahead and bring him in. Undefeated, super featherweight, Albert Prince Bell out of Toledo, Ohio. What's good, bro?
How you doing? I'm good.
Oh man, I'm great, man. I get a bit of a break this weekend. It seems like boxing's been going so heavy, like the last 7 weeks, on multiple platforms and everything. So we do have an important. Oh, before we get into your thing, I did want to throw it out there that Ohio has another fighter in action today or tonight over in New York City with Charles Conwell. He'll be going up against a dude named Pennington. For his first title. Let me check it out real quick. Courtney Pennington is for the vacant USBA super welterweight title. So I want to wish that brother well. You had any run-ins with Conwell over the last month or so? I know he trains in the city.
Yeah, I always see BJ. You know what I mean? He's doing his thing right now. I wish him the best. I know he's gonna bring it back. Yeah, good kid, good solid young man, and with a great fundamental style that's gonna take him a long way in the sport. So I wish him the best tonight. You know what I mean? I don't say good luck. I just keep people in my prayers. So hopefully, he's gonna bring that thing back tonight.
Okay. So we'll get into a bunch of stuff, man. Obviously, like I said, you have a big fight coming up for yourself. Before we jump into that, and my chat's not showing up. That's kind of not a good thing. Okay, guess I gotta watch my phone a little bit. So let's jump into it, man. You have the Muslim faith, correct?
Correct.
I know Ramadan just ended within the last week or so, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Has that
a couple days ago, about 3.
Go ahead.
No, I said in about 3 days ago, 3-4 days ago.
Okay. I hear a lot of times, different fighters try to avoid training or having fights lined up during that time of the year for obvious reasons. Has this, did this affect you in any way getting ready for this fight?
No, the first week and a half of camp, I have fasted and stuff. But, it's permissible to make your days up after the task is done. If it's too much on you, you can make it up after the fights or after the camp. You can make your days up. If it's permissible, like for these type of reasons, then you can make that happen. So that's what I'm gonna do. I ain't want to put too much on me, but I had to take the opportunity. That when this fight was presented, I couldn't postpone it. But God knows, as we say in Islam, Allah knows best of our attention. So get this victory, you know, man. Then I'm gonna make up my days for Ramadan.
Okay. Hey, I was not even aware of that. So we've been, like I said, I've heard about Ramadan affecting other fights throughout the years, and I had never, and it always seemed like a hard line issue. So, but I guess to each his own and how they choose to, practice their beliefs and everything and adhere to whatever. But I understand your position, in this matter.
Right.
So man, I've been checking you out the last couple of years. We've seen each other out at a couple of fights. You're in a city right now that has quite a bit going on. Um, obviously Robert Easter Jr. was out there as a lightweight champion, and Tyler McCreary's been out there. Sonny Fredrickson. It's a slew of guys coming out of the city right now, and it seems like you're one of the next up. So how did this? It seems like it kind of came together quickly. I was looking back on your box rec a while ago, and you were away from the game. I thought it was a little longer than what it really was, but it looked like it was about 18 months or something. But since you've come back, you've quickly gotten on track.
Yeah. I had some bad paperwork from when I came out of the amateur, so that's what that was about. It put me on hold. It was just it just took almost 2 years to, get everything going how I needed to be back going. Like, I got out of one situation into another that was no good. Only got one fight with that the second thing I had going on. So once I had to just give it time to clear everything up so I could get all the way free, and then I've been rolling ever since. But I'm thankful for my process. It taught me a lot about the business as well as myself and those that surround me. So, I'm glad it happened when I was young rather than later.
Now, were you based out of Miami initially once you started in the pro ranks, or did you spend a amount of time down in Miami or in Florida?
Yeah, when I came out of the amateurs, I signed with Mike Tyson. That's when they started the Iron Mike Productions, and they was based in Miami, so that's where they moved us to, and that's where I had my pro debut and stuff out of Florida. But I just stayed there for camp and stuff like that. But Toledo, Ohio, born and bred.
Okay. I try to let people know and introduce fighters to fans out there. Let them kind of know some things away from the ring about you guys, man. What's some other things that you're active in? I know you do quite a bit in the community, and in Toledo, you're pretty. That seems like a pretty important part of what you do. But what's some interests away from the sport?
Yeah, the community work is big. I'm real big on that. But I'm really like a chill, fun going person. I like to spend a lot of time with my family or just doing activities to keep me out of trouble. That's gonna be fun. I like laughing a lot. That's really all I do. I just chill. I like to play basketball. A little bit of everything for real, but most of the time I'm just chilling with my family or friends that I really call my friends, and we just finding something fun to do on a daily.
You play any other sports in high school? Did you play ball in high school? When I was in high school, man, Toledo was a pretty big city for high school basketball. Did you play in high school?
Yeah, No, I didn't play in high school. I used to practice with the team and train with the team just because all my friends was the basketball players. But I was ranked number one in the country or always at the nationals as a boxer in high school. So I didn't want to come from being a star in my sport to possibly sitting on the bench and another, So, in boxing, it's all the spotlight all on you. It's just you and the other man in there. So I couldn't come from being at the top of where I'm at to sitting behind guys that have been playing their whole life that the coaches favor and all that type of stuff. So I just stuck to my lane and boxed.
Cool. So with that type of outlook on things, and as things were picking up in the city, and other guys were moving on, man, how did you kind of find a way to be patient enough to wait for your time?
just how I was raised and how I was brought up. I got I just always install, that your time is your time. Everything happens for a reason. The day you lay off is the day they pay off. Just different things like that. So I just always stayed in the gym, always stayed working. I try to support everybody the best I could. It was tough at times, for watching you look like your dreams slipping away and everybody else catching theirs or people giving up on you or turning their back on you. It was kind of depressing during that time, but, I made it through it. And, like they say, when the rain stops, the sun shines. So that's where we at right now in my career. I feel like the sun's shining on me. I just got to take advantage of the opportunity that God presented me with.
Dope. So how do you, like I said, man, things kind of picked up for you, when you came back and started and, resumed your career, resumed fighting and whatnot. And then out of the blue, the Top Rank thing came, the announcement, I think maybe 6, 7, 8, 9 months ago. How'd that kind of come about?
Everything picked up. It was actually like Cinco de Mayo, like a few years ago. Once I was going through my contract situation stuff, I ran into a guy I've been knowing my whole life that was trying to get into boxing named Vic Green. He is already dealing with like football players and being an agent for them and worked at Dev Gym. He's been through like a whole lot of different things like in his life as far as music and different sports and stuff, representing sports people. So he told me he wanted to work with me, but I didn't really know the severity of it. We just rapping and politicking while we was out one day. And then when I got back, he like, man, let's make something happen. So he got me on the Robert Easter Jr. undercard when he had his first title fight here, right when I was a free agent. So then after that, we just we had a contract without paperwork. We just was locked in. It was just one of the type of things that he was throwing the shows, I was headlining them. We both was eating off of it. We made it happen there. He started talking to Top Rank after we had about 5, 6 fights with each other. We made the deal happen. Then me and him signed with each other on management deals because I didn't want to leave him behind or out. So that's where that came from.
Okay.
So big shouts out to Big Boss Boxing.
Okay. I'm trying to fix something at the minute, so I'm listening to you. Oh, I know how I can do what I need to do. Okay. Well, anyway, let me get this out of here real quick. I was trying to fix the live chat while you were talking and everything. Sorry about that. So, well, let's dig into this fight, man. I mean, it kind of came out of nowhere, in my opinion. You've had 2 fights on top, since signing with Top Rank, and you were on some undercards, and I thought did one fight make it onto the ESPN Plus coverage? Was it one fight?
Yeah.
So,
first one, yeah. The second was the swing about for the second one. They actually wanted me to get me on the actual ESPN, but all the fights that was scheduled went too long. So I just fought afterwards, and the ESPN stream had already ended, so I didn't get on there. But they actually tried to get me the national TV time, my last fight. So that's why the second one didn't air on ESPN Plus.
Okay, so that's what I was saying. It seems like without kind of and those of us that have been watching a guy like Joshua Greer Jr., even Shakur Stevenson, it seemed like it was a process to go from the Plus to the ESPN card, and so it seems like with this fight coming up, like you might have skipped a step, but basically the sentiment out there, from watching some after the fight was announced, was kind of like the whole notion of you being fed to the wolves, with it appearing that Andy Vences has a huge advantage in the experience department.
Yeah, that's how some could look at it, as an underdog, but we know the skill level and stuff, and they already told me they want to fast track me if I was ready for it. I've been doing this my whole life, so you gotta feel like you're ready for them type of guys. But I don't see nothing too special. Straight up and down. I've been knowing him since the amateurs. We've been around it. We always fought in the same weight class in the amateurs. I was the guy winning them tournaments. But people look at it how they want to, but I'm just glad for the opportunity. At the end of the day, it's me and him, so I don't really care what they think or what it is. But So we'll see each other when we get in that ring.
Well, you get the call. Andy Vences is the name that's on there. Walk us through. I'm sure you talked this over with your team or some top rank officials or contacts and whatnot. What was the decision process to go ahead and make this happen?
They asked. Let me see. They said we was gonna we possibly could fight after my next fight, after his next fight. So they already said that, but all the cars was booked up, so all the other potential prospects and stuff that Top Rank has was they all had fights lined up against each other, or coming up. So it was basically like, you want to do it now, or basically you're gonna have to sit back for a minute until the next date opened up, which could be in a few months or something like that. But they said they wanted to test me anyway, so I told them they offered me to fight first. I agreed to the fight first, So when they asked me to fight him, I told them, yeah, let's do it, because all the other fights was about the same risk, but he the one that had some type of title attached to it. So I'd rather do if we're going to do the same risk, might as well get some hardware that put me in a position to get to a world title shot for it, rather than be fighting another guy that's just as good or just the same record, but just because,
Do you think that like I said, some people are looking out there, they see the difference in the records. He's 2 years older than you. He is currently the Continental America's Super Featherweight title holder. He's WBC number 9 and WBO number 11. So he's on the West Coast, where the thinking is that it's a lot more exposure, preparation, and all of that is a lot easier. It's a ton of fighters out there to get great sparring in, but it's one thing that's an advantage for you, or maybe what some might know is, like I said, training in the city with all of the fighters that are in Toledo right now. You're actually getting world-class sparring.
Every day. I think I got way better sparring than he got, outside of the what's the guy, Mario Barrios? I think that's the name. But I get great work, but all that experience, all that stuff cool, but like, I got probably like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like, I just want everybody to tune in, man. It's gonna be a special performance. Like, I don't it's hard to explain. It's gonna be my night though. And like, if I was him, I wouldn't have took the fight, because he the one that has everything to lose. You know what I mean? All you have to do is probably wait it out, get another tune-up, little opponent or something like that. But you giving somebody like me a chance at 14 and 15 to know. You know what I mean? You got the title, you got the issue with that. Like, he got everything to lose. I'm embracing this underdog role. It's the first time I've ever been an underdog. But all the real ones, like the real ones in boxing, like if you check it out, or the real fighters, they know who they picking to win. It's the writers and stuff that don't know too much about me, but I'm a special talent when it comes to this boxing. But they gonna show. They'll see next Saturday.
I saw you got some work in with Tyler McCreary, who I believe is also he had a debut with Top Rank. Who else has helped you get prepared for this?
When I was in Vegas, I was sparring with Andreas Cortez, 11-0. That's he signed to TMT. I got to work with some other guys out there, but back home I've been sparring Arthur Jones the third the other day. Been sparring Tyler McCreary. Been sparring Sonny Fredrickson. I've been sparring Rocky Castaneda, who's 6-0. I went up to Detroit, got some work with some 10-0 guys. I've been to Ann Arbor, sparred a guy that's 3-0. Yeah, I was an amateur standout. Let me see what else I boxed. I've been getting a lot of solid work, like a lot of solid work, like, and I've been doing my thing,
Okay. You guys, the city is on a roll, man. We saw DeAndre Ware pick up a title. Sonny Fredrickson, had a setback and then came back and picked up a title. And like I said, Charles Conwell is making some noise. You know, talking with some of these guys about the game and about their experiences. You know, does that give you a certain level of additional level of comfort? You know, knowing just being prepared with how to approach this, with it being the first title that you're fighting for.
Of course, it's I think it's something in our water. All this winning we've been doing lately, the titles are picking up. But yeah, I've been around these guys my whole life, and they actually mostly all of them started fighting after me, like coming up and growing up. So, me and Robert was kind of the leader of the packs with them, but then I had my little fallback or whatnot. But I just feel like it's time for me, you know what I mean? So I'm very prepared mentally, physically, all that. And then I got a great supporting cast of fighters around me that keep me inspired in the gym and bringing hardware into the gym to look at, that makes me inspire me even more to go get my own. So it's a beautiful thing.
Wow. It seems like you have a pretty good scout report, on him. I know you can't give everything away, and folks need to tune in next Saturday to check it out. But what do you think about your game? Is something that he's faced a guys such as Eric DeLeon. I think he has Alba on his record. What about you? Do you think that he might that will give him some problems? That will give him some problems.
That'll give him problems. He never fought a style like mine, so them guys are good come forward fighters. Shout out to Eric DeLeon and Diaba. Me and Eric DeLeon actually sparred a whole lot of times throughout life. We were supposed to do some work this camp, but he had to go out to the Robert Garcia camp, so we missed each other on this one. But I could do a little bit of both. I could come forward, but I could really box my ass off. Like, I'm slick. I'm super, super fast, sharp, and my defense is like crazy. As well as my footwork. So he haven't seen what I'm bringing to him. He used some flat-footed, stand there, slip bang out with you type guys, and it's a whole different ball game with me. So he the one that's gonna have to make a lot of adjustments. I know what I'm looking at and what I'm coming forward of. We got a whole lot of fights I've been watching on there. He probably can only pull up one fight on me on there, because I don't really put my fights on. I never put fights on the internet. But I think Top Rank probably got one of them out there on me, and I look spectacular in that, so I don't know how it's going to be, which you don't really see in that one. But he got a lot of footage that I was able to watch and break down and go over and pick up habits and tendencies and things like that, what he like to do, what he don't like to do. So all that are coming factor, but my style and my ability to adjust on the fly is going to be his hardest thing to deal with.
Now, at 14 fights, 5 KOs. Early on, some of us expect to see the big KO numbers. You've kind of started stringing together some stoppages with three fights ending inside the distance out of your last 6 fights. So is that something that's kind of you're adding to your game? You already had kind of the mental approach. You mentioned your defense. You got the height and reach advantage, kind of being a bit of an outlier for this weight class with your height and everything. Is that something that you're focusing on at the moment?
Yeah, strength always had nice pop and stuff, but it got better as long as the more I get, the older I'm getting. But I had a lot of hand problems in early my career. I would always fracture my hands, and I had brittle hands. So I would hit a guy with a good shot in them early pro fights, and they'd be gone, but I couldn't follow up because I didn't fracture my hand, or I had to finish the fight with just left hand work and boxing, even being a smarter fighter. But that's what happens with them early fights on my knockouts deals. I have real bad hand problems.
Your mix of skills, man. Who's some influences on you? Who's some other fighters that you think you've maybe may resemble in some ways, or things that you've taken and added to your own game?
I just like watching the greats. I think I got my own type of kind of style, but I like But I study a lot of fighters. You know, Roy Jones Jr. was my favorite fighter growing up. You know, then the Floyd Mayweather era. But on the older side, I watch a lot of Sugar Ray Leonard, Pernell Whitaker, Muhammad Ali. I like the Winky Wright fights. I like Miguel Cotto. I like a lot of fighters, man. I like how Holyfield gets his man and put him in combinations and like Mike Tyson aggression and mindset at the times of the fights and how he used to look at his opponents and all types of. It's just I watch. I'm a real fan of my sport. Like ever since I was younger, I come from a whole boxing family, so I grew up watching boxing. So I would just always see little different stuff and add it, and or same thing at big tournaments and different fights I done went to around the country, and even the pro fights that I go to now, I would just see stuff that works for them, and I try it in spawn or in the gym, and if it works, I keep it.
Off air, I think you just mentioned your father is your league trainer. Is that what you said?
Yes.
What's his background with the sport? I mean, and, you know, we know that Robert Easter is trained by his father. You know, and father and son teams throughout the country are you know a big part of the game. What's your dad's background with the sport?
My dad had a long amateur career. You know, it was like a national ranked fighter. And then he got caught up in the streets, so he had the potential to be a world champion. They always told me that my whole life that we were supposed to be rich already and stuff like that. But he got caught up in the streets, so he had to do prison time. But in the prison time, that's back when they used to have boxing across along the whole, all the prisons would meet up in box, or you could compete in prison. He won the prison Olympics twice against all the different inmates and stuff around the country. And then when he got out, he resumed his amateur career. Then he turned pro and went going as a pro. But then at that time, he was kind of older, so he just stopped and started training my older brother. And that's when I started coming to the gym with them when I was just about 3 and 4 years old.
Okay. Like I said, you know, moving over to Top Rank for these last couple of fights. The first one coming back in November of 2018, and then back in the ring in February, in the middle of February in Hinckley on the Brandt, the Rob Brandt fight, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Has that been a benefit to you, man, to be on to get out there to Oklahoma City was the first one. I believe that was the Mo Hooker fight. Has that been a benefit to you to watch some of these guys that are, you know, levels above you or farther down the road than you? Have you you seem like a student of the game, man. Are you taking in information and seeing how guys are conducting themselves throughout fight week and then on fight night?
Oh yeah, of course. But like I said, like Toledo is such a big boxing city that we, you know what I mean, I've been around. We've been around all types of camps. I've been a world champion camps even before Toledo I took off. You know what I mean? Back in through like the Adrian Bronner camps back when he was the man at the time. You know, I'd have been camps. I was at Mayweather Gym and things like that. I just sparred with a whole lot of world champions down in Miami and et cetera, et cetera. So I've been around that type of level in that atmosphere and fought on big cards and stuff. But it's always a great experience to be around world champions in a world championship atmosphere and the big venues and things like that. So it's always stuff that you can pick up and learn every day or every time. And then it's great to build those fan bases in other cities outside of Toledo. So yeah, I really appreciate it and I'm grateful for it.
What was that for you, man? Because you've been at the Seagate. I see a couple of fights up at the Seagate, and then you were doing, you know, some regional cards and everything. Was it a big sense of relief to get on these bigger productions, these bigger events? You don't have as many problems with opponents and some of that other stuff. I mean, you lost one fight to a non-contest, you know, a fight that you had won. And it was something because it didn't go to the scheduled rounds or something. You know, some of these club cards, man, anything can happen. So has that been a relief for you as you've moved over to Top Rank?
Yeah, it's been a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? Everything lined up how it's supposed to be lined up. But that card that happened with that I lost the fight with. I didn't lose the fight, but it took the fight off my record that I won. That was actually on the Robert Easter Jr. undercard
Right.
at the Huntington Center.
True, that's true.
What happened was we were supposed to go for 6 rounds. We had scheduled 6 rounds, and then you know how those cards be with the TV and all that stuff. So during our fight, they came in and told us it's gonna be our last round of the 4th round. You know what I mean? But I got the unanimous decision win on all scorecards on all rounds, and then like 3 months later, they reversed the decision, saying it's no contest because it was a violation of contract, which his team reached out and told him to do. We actually in the process trying to get that appealed and get that back on there because that happens all the time, and it wasn't out. I mean, it was out of my hands or whatnot, but. So that's why I still say I'm 15-0, etc. Because I won all my fights that I got in. I've had 15 pro fights, but yeah, it's real good to have everything lined up how it's supposed to be.
Right, and that's what I just meant that you lost that victory off of your, due to it being changed to the no contest. So not that dude beat you, but
most definitely.
But like you said, you've been out to Vegas, man. You've trained in the Mayweather gym, and you've received some exposure to some different to tons of different situations. It sounds so. This fight will be in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. What's your outlook towards fighting under under those types of lights?
I feel like it's about time. I just feel like I was born for this type of stuff. And then like the better the opponent that I fight is, the better I become. I've always been like that. I don't like fighting below me or whatever, because them type of guys that make you look bad. Because you train for elite fighters. When you're in the gym, you're not training for no type of bums or journeymen. It's like you're training for the best. So it brings the best out of you. And then this is the type of fight that get me up at night. Like, it just been motivating me, sitting on my mind. I've been running hard. I threw away all the sugar out of my refrigerator. I hired a chef, doing way more strength and conditioning with personal trainers, and getting hell of rounds in sparring and just training all the way I need to be so I can perform the way I know I can. So it's just great. Like, I can't wait. And I just know I'm gonna have a great night. It's just gonna be beautiful, but it's a beautiful situation. I think everything lined up and happened just how it's supposed to, with them switching the card, and it's like I'm a real one. You know what I mean? Like, I'm built for this. So whatever they come with, I'm ready for it.
Now, is this gonna be on the ESPN portion of the card or ESPN Plus, just so people can tune in?
No, it's gonna be on ESPN too.
Oh, okay.
Cause the fight that's going to be on ESPN, I think the fight's going to be on ESPN Plus. They're going to go on ESPN 2, show the Michaela Mayer fight, and then they're going to show me his fight. Then it's going to go back to ESPN Plus for Sullivan Barrera and Jesse Hart, and then the main event, which is Tyson Fury, Tom Schwartz.
So how did you handle that, man? Because like you just mentioned, like you just alluded to, this fight was moved, and then once you find out about the decision being made for you guys to appear on the undercard of Fury and Schwartz, I mean, obviously the heavyweight division, tons of big business happening up there right now, and it's a lot riding on this fight, especially with Wilder coming out and announcing that the rematch between him and Tyson Fury was I don't know if we could say signed, but he put it out there. We haven't heard anything from Top Rank at this point, but that adds another layer of attention to this fight, man. So when you got that notification that you'd be fighting, on this, man, what was the reaction to that?
It was great. Like I got to agree to that first too. You know what I mean? To see if I wanted to. Like, I knew before Andy knew. We had to wait and see what his decision was. But I told him immediately once they asked me, would I be okay with them putting this on the Fury undercard? I told them absolutely, because our fight is kind of big, like a lot of people was expecting it to be, the best fight on the card with that's tonight, and then a lot of people thinking it's gonna steal the show on the card that's next week. So I think by it being on this, it allows us to get TV time instead of an ESPN Plus. And I think it's the fight where it needs to be is right before the co-main event, which is actually a big fight than the heavyweight fight. So I just feel like it got that the fight getting this credit that it should have got, because it's actually a great fight on paper, whether they know it or not. You know what I mean? So they can see, I don't know, it's got 14, 15, or whatever, but versus I'm putting on the line, two undefeated fighters putting it on the line for each other for some hardware, and then it put us in a world title conversation as well. So I think it's the type of card that it should be on.
Based on, like I said, man, you sound like a pretty astute dude on, all of the ramifications that surround these fights and what's on the line here. Just you see some of this stuff online. How much attention do you pay to it, man? I mean, last week, we saw a guy like Anthony Joshua take his first loss, and everything that was out there for him. And then this week I'm sitting here watching the fallout of that, and I kind of struggle with understanding how fans approach this game, and even some of us that cover the sport. Do you struggle with some of the senselessness involved in the online banter about what you guys are actually doing and facing?
Yeah, I really don't pay that much attention. I feel like what you give your energy to is what consumes you and what you are putting, allow for your mind to really think about. But I see some of the stuff they've been writing or, stuff he been saying, but it really don't make me know never mind, because at the end of the day, he got to see me, Everybody can write all they want about his record and this and that and what he's saying, but at the end of the day, it's me and him, so I really don't allow all the other stuff to get to me, I know what I am and what I'm capable of, and I know I'm not losing to Andy Vences, you get what I'm saying, so I ain't really tripping on that. As far as them other fighters, man, they just gotta remember that they do this for a living, and all them people doing is right, and opinions like assholes, everybody got one. So I wouldn't really, if I was a fighter, I'd just focus on my craft, just limit to social media when it's time for fighting, I don't know, I just got different ways of going about things, but to each his own, but I really don't pay it no mind, because at the end of the day, it's only you and the other fighter in there, and we know we put our life on the line every time, so why care about opinion that somebody's just sitting behind somewhere just typing or writing? It is what it is.
I know you could glean quite a bit of stuff from, chopping it up with somebody like Robert Easter Jr. and where he's been with his, his travels in the game. But somebody that's kind of went through what you're on the cusp of going through, DeAndre Ware. He fought an interesting opponent, based on where him and Kim Chilik were when they met. Have you had a chance to talk it up with him and just get his insight on what he went through?
Not too much on that, but we always around each other. Like Jersey and Jim yesterday, he brought up the titles in and stuff when me and Tyler was sparring. Like I didn't grow up around him, So,
okay.
We just always love and respect and support with each other. But when I ain't really talk about the mindset of it, because I know what my mindset already has to be. So, I really, I learn from them guys by watching. I'm an observer. Like, I don't really need to have physical conversations to actions. Now I can see. I can see the dedication, determined stuff that they have to do and put their bodies through in mind, mental preparation. But at the end of the day, we don't know what we're thinking. Anybody can say one thing about their mental, and then deep down they could be thinking another way. So I just try to focus on my mindset and stay locked in, tunnel vision, prepare the way I need to prepare and do the things that I need to do.
All right. Hey, well, man, I'm not going to try to hold you on here, man. I think I messed up something on the chat, so I couldn't really even try to get any questions from anybody that might have tuned in. But just final words, man. I mean, you've sounds like you have a good grasp, a good mental state going into this thing. Like I said, man, I'm really excited for you, and just watching, where you've managed to get to over the last 18 months since you kind of step back into the picture, man. And I'm always rooting for Ohio. So, any last words, man?
I just believe God graces with the humble. This fight is gonna show that. You know, we working hard, man. I'm working harder than I ever have. I'm ready. Just keep supporting me, y'all, and I keep giving the love and positive energy out, and I always carry myself as a people's champion. Y'all can follow me on Instagram at Albert Prince Bell. I'm on Facebook at Albert Prince Bell, Twitter Albert Bell 419, and just look forward and tune in June 15th, ESPN 2 at 7 o'clock, and I should do my thing and keep me in your prayers.
All right. Hey, do you think that's a benefit to you, man, and to the following, man? I've seen some. I know when Joshua Greer went over to ESPN Plus, I had a joke with him about trying to explain to his fans, locally in Chicago, how to find him. With you not having to pop up on ESPN Plus and being up on ESPN 2, is that a much easier conversation for you to, to tell people where to find you next week?
Of course, because the first two fights I had, everybody trying to download the ESPN Plus. A lot of people ain't know what it is. A lot of people couldn't get it. You know what I mean? A lot of older folks ain't know how to. But when it's easy, when you could just click on TV and channel 3 or channel 17, and you just see it. It's a lot easier. And a lot more people tune in to you and support you that way. So it's great to be on that TV platform instead. To me, even though the streams is the new way to go, but I like the old-fashioned TV.
Hey, I know a very last question, man. I thought I saw, I don't know if that was your business or a business that you were involved with, but you opened up a barn grill or sports bar. Is that your?
Yeah, that was mine. Yeah, that was mine. But we fell back on that. Sorry, it was more like a little party spot where I couldn't get my name too mixed up and involved in. And too much stuff that was going on, so I just fell back. Toledo is a very dangerous city, and there was some stuff going on. I couldn't be attached to it, so I fell back with my end of it, and we just decided to go another route. It wasn't worth it.
Okay, well then that wraps that up. I was wondering if you wanted to plug that real quick, but yeah,
every time I do it, it'd be like a real sports bar.
Okay, I just appreciated the entrepreneurialism, man. That's all I was really getting at.
Guys, you always got to have stuff going. I always got stuff in the works, but I guess that avenue wasn't it. But we have some more stuff coming so real soon.
Okay, all right, man. Well, hey, man, like I said, I appreciate your time, man. It's good to finally chop it up with you. I've seen you around, and like I said, man, I've been watching your growth and checking you out from afar. And man, I'm just glad that you're getting this experience, man. And I'm glad that you have the mind state that I'm hearing coming out of you, and to be prepared before you even get out there to do what you got to do.
Oh yeah, I'm on wait already. We working. So, but thank you for having me on here. I appreciate it. And let's get ready to tune in next week. And I'm telling you, I'm gonna pull it off.
All right, man. Thanks for your time. Bring that belt back.
Oh, definitely.
All right, man, I'm going to get ready to get on out of here myself. I just thought it was very important to bring Albert Bell on, man, and to, to share his story, man. I mean, he's going into this thing next week really not being the favorite. Although he just said, the fight was approached or presented to him first. And, it's not a game to him. He's not going out there as an opponent. I like what I heard. I like like I said, I see the kid on Instagram. He seems to be doing things the right way away from the game, man. And like I said, I know he's in a circle with Robert Easter Jr., so there's an association of 6 degrees of separation to somebody like Adrian Broner. Bell trains with Tyler McCreary, who's in that circle and does quite a bit of running with Easter Jr. and AB. So and constantly we see online where it's people saying that suggesting for a Tank Davis or Easter Jr. to get away from AB and to separate themselves from AB. But like I said, man, I've been watching Bell for the last 16, 18 months, man, and he seems to be on the straight and narrow. He's, his faith is a major part of his life, and it's just good to see a guy where it looks like the chances of him getting in his own way are slim to none. So I'm rooting for the brother next week. We'll see what happens. I mean, he's in tough, but he's 26 years old, so it's go time. So we'll see what happens. Hey, look, I'm gonna get ready to shut this down. Like I said, good luck to my man Charles Bad News Conwell tonight over at MSG on the Triple G card on the Zone. He's fighting for his first title, so salute to that brother. And I'm gonna be back on here at 6 p.m. Eastern time with a kid that's making some noise on PBC cards, on the undercards. He's only 3-0. But his name is Omar Juarez. I'll be hollering at him at about 6 p.m. Eastern time. And let me get on out of here, man.
Fight this depression, let's fight this oppression. Fight back with aggression, that's not what your heart out.